Hi guys, Jay Smith here. Welcome to the AskGolfNut channel. Today we're going to be doing some myth busting, I think we are, when it comes to long irons, hybrids and the classic 7-wood, the fairway woods. Which one should you use? Are there benefits of using one over the other? And also I'm going to be doing this test at different speeds because obviously not everyone swings at whatever miles an hour with anything, and so doing this test at different speeds is going to give you guys an understanding possibly if there are benefits or not choosing a long iron, a hybrid or a 7-wood. Now I have got models of golf club in my hand which are all at 22 degrees. I've got a G425 Max 7-wood, normally 20.5, but with the LOFT sleeve I can get this up to 22 degrees. No different to a CLK 4 hybrid, 22 degrees. And then yes, we have a MP20 HMB 4 iron at 22 degrees. So we have a pattern of exactly the right loft. And I obviously have got models of golf club which aren't absolutely spanking brand new, because generally speaking people don't have absolutely spanking new equipment. So this will be given an idea as what at least one model old equipment will work. And this effectively, guys, it won't make no difference whatsoever, one model or exactly brand new stuff. So what I'm going to do, I've got a test hole. I'm going to be doing this at normal-ish speed. The reason why I'm not going to be doing quite my normal speed of around about sort of kind of 100 miles an hour with a hybrid is because I've got a lot of shots to hit. And I will put it on time lapse so you don't have to watch every single one in real time. I'll speed it through. But I'm going to be doing this at two different speeds. So I'm going to be hitting a load of shots with a 7-wood, a load of shots then with the hybrid, and then a load of shots with the 4 iron at my normal-ish speed, but then go down to an average male golfer's speed and see what differences there is when you start dropping speed down. We're talking about peak heights, we're talking about descent angles, we're talking about control into a green. Obviously there will be an associated drop in carry, yes we know that, obviously by swinging slightly slower. So right, let's go get the simulator set up, let's go get all these golf clubs out of the way, and let's go hit the 7-wood first. Right, so it's all set up for 7-wood. I've dumped the other two over there. I've got the 7-wood in my hands. I've got a brand new RB Tour golf ball on the deck, so we can keep this test as scientific as possible. Now, obviously, I'll be doing all these tests. I will whip through them as fast as I can do when it comes to time lapse on the old camera. And then right at the end, when we've got all the information, we'll pop up onto the old editing PC and see what differences, if any, there are between all of these three different golf clubs, all set at 22 degrees. Right, so there's 15 or so shots with the 7-wood matte. So what we're going to do now, we're going to flick over to the hybrid, do the exact same thing with that, go through the old footage very quickly, all the swings very quickly, and then let's go see the same thing again with the 4 iron and see what differences it is between all these three at normal speed. Yeah. Right, there's another load hit. Ooh, hit too many. Doesn't matter. We'll go and now swap over to the 4 iron. Remember, all of these at 22 degrees. Now there is a difference in shaft length, so there's going to be a difference in head speed anyway. We'll go into that one. That'll be the same for every single golfer, regardless of obviously which one they choose. But flick over to the 4 iron, change data sets, and let's go see how that one does. Back now, data set now changed. We have it on a blue line, I think it will be, but it will be for the MP20 HMB 4-iron. Remember, 22 degrees. Now, I don't normally play 4-iron. I generally go from a 5-iron to a hybrid because of the whole idea of this video. But we'll see what the differences are at different speeds because, I haven't done this test in quite a few years now. So it'll be interesting to see what the differences are, if any, also at different speeds. Right, let's go give this one a hit. It does look a long way down there when it comes to a bladed 4-iron. Right, so now all of the shots have been hit. Let's go to the slow speed. Let's change the data set now to a slower speed, the average swing speed for a amateur. Hit them all again, and let's go to the PC and see what the differences are between peak heights, descent angles, distances, yes, as well, and see which ones are more functional and which ones should be used by what speed of golfer. Okay, data set now changed. I'm back. I've moved the tee a little bit further forward because obviously slowing the swing speed down, it's not going to carry as far. I've got the 7-wood. Let's dial my speed back sort of 10, 15 miles an hour or so. Do the same thing with all three and see what differences are then. Right, so all now 15 or so shots hit with 7-wood. Let's go flick over and do exactly the same thing at exactly the same speed or reduction of speed when it comes to hybrid. 4 hybrid in my hand, data set now changed, different color as normal, and let's go do exactly the same thing, 15 shots also at this slightly slower speed. Right, that's 16 also done. With this one, let's go do the same thing again. Flick over data sets and hit the 4-iron at the slower speed. Let's go to the PC then and go see what the differences really are between all of them. Right, data set now changed. 4-iron in my hands. Blue line I think we got again. Right, getting tired. Getting too old for this. Right, last data set though, and then we'll go crunch some numbers. I'm not quite sure if I'm actually going to get there with this now. 4-iron at a slower speed. Right, so after everything has been hit and done, I'm getting tired, I'm sweating now, getting old. Right, let's go get to the PC. Let's go crunch numbers between all 3 different types of heads and at the 2 different kind of speeds that we've hit. So normal, my normal speed, and then a slower, more average amateur speed, and see if there's any distinct advantages between the long iron, the hybrid, and the fairway wood. So all the shots now hit, suitably tired. Let's go have a look at all the information collected and see what kind of trajectories we're going to get through different clubs. So obviously we got the same loft with all of them 22 degrees with the iron, the hybrid, and also the 7-wood. But we are seeing distinct differences in flight. So if we go to the normal speed first, my normal-ish speed, so slightly slower than normal, but within reason. Normal, because obviously I'm hitting loads and loads and loads of shots. And then we'll go to the slower swing speed afterwards to see what differences, if any, still stay apparent when we take speed off. Right, so 7-wood first, 141.7 miles an hour, 142 miles an hour, launching at 14.9, spinning at 4.7, we're going up 39 yards in the air and descending at 44.9 degrees, 45 degrees, and carrying 2.23, exactly what I would expect within reason a 7-wood to carry. If you go to the 4 hybrid, you've got speed that's now coming off ball speed, 137.2. Why have we got 4.5 miles an hour taken off? Well, it's because of shaft length. Shaft length makes a difference because obviously it makes the head swing speed change depending on centrifugal force. So there are 3 different golf clubs and they come in 3 different shaft lengths. And so even though they may all be the same loft, you are going to get differences in speed with all 3. And so therefore, you can have the same loft. It's launching at 14.1 rather than 14.9, so within 0.8 of a degree is exactly the same. It's just the speed starts to come off. And so with that speed that starts to come off, I mean, spins at 4.4, so there's 300 or so RPM difference between it, but 300 RPM. But with that launch angle, slightly lower, but, well, what's that? 0.8 of a degree, a smaller, slightly smaller head, slightly lower further back CG with the 7-wood, encourages it going slightly higher. Shaft length being a bit longer, you're going to get a bit more ball speed from it because the club head speed increase. So you can see the differences there between already the 7-wood and the 4 hybrid. It culminates in the 4 hybrid going 34 yards in the air and descending at 42.3. So still fine, it's just that you can see there with a 5-yard difference in peak height, we are sacrificing a little bit of free useful distance not using the 7-wood, and of course by that it's also now carrying at 216 not 223, and we're losing 7 yards because of it. So we're losing yards, we're losing peak height, and we're losing descent angle. Yeah. Now if you were to get a 9-wood and change the loft around to try and match distance wise that you'd get with the 4 hybrid, you'd get something which would then go 216 yards like the 4 hybrid, but would then go even higher than the current 7-wood and stop even steeper. So you can see there, because of the differences within the fairway wood to hybrid, the gains you're going to get. If you now go to the 4 iron, the bladed 22-degree 4 iron. Ball speed 132.4. We are losing another, 4.5 miles an hour. Why? Shaft length again. As soon as that shaft length comes off, the head just doesn't travel as fast as normal, and then you get a reduction in ball speed because of it. Launching at 15.1, so within reason, all of these golf clubs are launching within 1 degree. Well, they will do, because they're all the same loft, give or take me being a human. Spinning at 4.6, so in between the hybrid and the fairway wood, going 33 yards in the air and descending at 42.6 and carrying 207. We've lost another nearly 10 yards from the hybrid. So even though peak heights have only just suffered by a yard and descent angles have remained fairly stagnant between the hybrid and the iron, we're losing 10 yards of distance, give or take. And so for me to be able to get that 10 yards back, I'd have to strengthen the loft even more, get it more to a 3 iron, then it would carry up to the 216. The problem is it then won't go as high, and it will be even shallower when it comes to its descent angle and less functional. Again, if you look at all the graphical representation of it, you can see the flights don't lie. You can see distinctly the one that wins. It is the white. It is the fairway wood. The 7-wood wins. Now, again, if you were trying to get the 216 mark, 215 yards was your magic number that you wanted to hit, great, the hybrid does it. And if you wanted to get it into an iron, we'd have to go to a 3.5 iron as such to try and get that distance of 216, but then you're going to flatten the flight. Then, if you then go to say a 7-wood, increase the loft even more, you'd go to a 9-wood to get to the 216, you're going to get something which is going in ridiculously high and ridiculously stoppy when it comes to its descent angle. So the wood wins definitely at normal speed, at my normalish speed. Now, my normal speed for this, when I'm not hitting as many shots I'm hitting, I'd be expecting the 7-wood to carry around about sort of the 225 to 228, and then no different, the carry on the 4 hybrid to be around about the 220, and then the 4 iron around about the 210, 212-ish mark. But I mean, you can see the differences carry on Right, let's go have a look at what happens when you take speed off. Now, I've done this swing around about sort of 10 or so miles an hour slower than what my normal speed is. So when it comes to, say, a driver for me is around about 110, 111 miles an hour, which is my normal speed. If you look at the average amateur, that goes between 96 to 100 miles an hour. So 98 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour taken off. So I've tried to take around about the same amount, 10 miles an hour or so, off of my normal, to get what a average. Now, of course, if you swing slower than that, then you are going to see an even bigger drop off than what we're going to be talking about. And then also, if you swing a bit faster, you're going to be in between what you're going to see now and what you've just seen before. So you can kind of get an understanding of where you are. So if we look at the 7 wood, 127.7 miles an hour average ball speed, 128 miles an hour, launching at 15 degrees and going 30 yards in the air and descending at 40.7. So you can see, even with the 7 wood, we are now not going up so high. We're only going 30 yards in the air rather than 39. And we're descending at 40.7, which is now getting fairly shallow. We're going 200 yards, which is on carry, which is fine, no problem whatsoever, but you can see it's starting to get a little bit like that kind of flight. For hybrid time, 126.6 miles an hour, launching at 14 degrees, 13.8. We are going 26 yards in the air and descending at 37.4 degrees. Still going 200 yards, but you can see the difference when it comes to functionality. This thing is going like a missile. Not quite, but its comparison it is. It's going 26 yards in the air, which is 4 yards less than the 7 wood, and descent angle is becoming much more like driver. It wants to go like that, which means as soon as it's going to hit the ground, it's going to want to chase. That's the problem when you're going to be running this into a green. That's a fair amount of bounce and roll that you're going to have to take into account. So again, 7 wood wins. If you go to a 4 iron, 123.1 miles an hour average ball speed, launching at 14 degrees and going 25 yards in the air and descending at 37.4. So the surprise for me on this one is the fact that how well the 4 iron did comparable to the 4 hybrid. But again, it's losing nearly 10 yards of distance. So if you were going to do with the 4 iron to try and get that magic carry of 200 yards, you would have to strengthen it even more, and then you are really going to be suffering. You're going to be looking at peak heights going not very high whatsoever, and that descent angle is going in like a missile, further losing control. So even though it's done quite well when it comes to its peak heights and descent angles, it's doing it under a shorter distance bracket. So again, hybrid wins over iron, and fairway wood wins over hybrid. And you can look at the trajectories down there. You can see the strike. I was slightly bit more toey actually with the 7 wood, so again you get that a bit more comparable to the rest of them, and no, undoubtedly you'd get a little bit more, a fraction more, maybe a couple more yards in carry, but you would go up a bit more. And so even so, it's winning even with a slightly worse strike than the rest of them. Remember, this is not my normal speed. So the interesting thing I would say with these would be this. Some people don't like using hybrids. Some people don't like using fairway woods because they say that hybrids will go too far left, or fairway woods go too far left. I don't like them because of this. Now, okay, if your complaint about using hybrids, for example, just picking on hybrids, is because of trajectory, then do you know what it's going to be? It's going to be the fact that obviously hybrids are generally speaking a bit more upright than irons, and of course it encourages a little bit more of the left. Why is that? That is because of the slicer, the high handicap golfer, which does slice, and obviously jacking up the lie angles, etc., like you do with drivers as natural, and no one complains about them. Well, we hit them off the tee, we don't hit them on the deck, that's the reason why. But because of that, then they don't like the fact that hybrids go left. Well, nowadays, especially with golf clubs with the loft sleeve, which has got an offset camber, you can actually dial in flat settings as well when it comes to as options, so you can actually get the lie down. And then also remember, with that offset cam, like the say the Ping is, and also the Mizuno CLK that I tested for the 4 hybrid, when you alter the loft, it also alters face angle. So if you're doing a proper custom fit, you can actually utilize this fact. Obviously it changes face angle when you change loft to dial in the lofts, to also dial in flight. And so by changing into, say, something like a slightly like a 1 lofted up, more so to a 5 hybrid, and then dumbing it down when it comes to loft, so strengthen it up as best you can do, it actually opens the face a little bit. If you then also, say with a ping, you've got the flat settings underneath, if you actually take that off, you can actually see the flat settings underneath, you can do that, and that also has the same effect. So you can nowadays dial in hybrids, dial in fairway woods, so they don't miss the classic left for certain people. So gone now as people turn around, apart from their mental block in their head saying that they can't play hybrids and stuff like that. So you can see the differences between all three, all at different speeds. So basically what happens as soon as you take speed off, yes, it's going to not go so high, it's going to come in a little bit more shallow. Now at my speed I can get away with definitely using a 7-wood, definitely using a hybrid, and the problem is with even at my speed I'm looking at a 4-iron being a little bit one-dimensional because I need to hit it as high as I can to try and get it functional into a green. When you start taking speed off, utilising free help in technology, effectively hybrids and also fairway woods, you are going to win over an iron. Now I agree, some people just like hitting irons. When that's the case, you're going to have to put up with the non-functional side, especially of the long ones. And there is also this case of certain people do play seaside golf courses where they want to keep it low and under the wind. Well then there you go, you have got that in spades when it comes to long irons. But that's a very specific and very unique set of buying decisions. For the vast majority of golfers, you just need help. And when it comes to getting up in the air, why anyone does not use more 7-woods, 9-woods possibly, and definitely hybrids, I don't know. Whether it's bravado, I'm not quite sure. But hopefully we can see definitely woods win, hybrids next, and then irons after. Hope you liked the video. If you did, go on, big old thumbs up. YouTube's like this, so do I. Down there is a subscribe button. It's free. Go on, it's great for the channel. And next to it is a bell icon. That's a notification bell. That will let you know if you click it next time I upload another video. So I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.